Hugh Sheridan is best known for playing Ben Rafter from Pack to the Rafters, House Husbands, and his latest Five Bedrooms. But Hugh is an incredible singer as well, and he's got a brand new show at the Sydney Opera House called Solitary Man on October 21st, singing Neil Diamond. And tickets are on sale from Monday, but Hugh joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning. Tell us about your new show, Hugh.
Well, basically, you've just sort of summed it up. I'm singing Neil Diamond, all of his greatest hits at the Sydney Opera House, and then the following weekend at Hamer Hall in Melbourne. And I think it's just going to be a lot of fun. What I really missed during COVID was live performance, and I think we all missed coming together and just having fun. Mm. And even I was just singing Sweet Caroline just before, and I was
were too.
The lyrics of the song, hands touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. I'm like, it's the anti-COVID song, because you weren't allowed to touch anyone or anything like that. And you weren't even allowed to sing in public places. You couldn't dance or anything like that. So I'm really excited to be in the Sydney Opera House because it's such the new concert hall just looks so beautiful. Mm. I'm going to see it on Thursday, but they've redone it, and I'm going to encourage people to get up and dance and sing and have fun and just come together.
Apart from Sweet Caroline, I don't actually know much about Neil Diamond. What's something that you've learnt along the way about him that people might not know?
Well, one thing that I learnt was that he wrote a lot of songs that I didn't realise were his. So there was one song that I've always loved since I was little called Crunchy Granola Sweet. And I don't know if you know, I'm sure some of the listeners do, but it's just this really great build-up song, and I used to just love dancing to it when I was younger. He also wrote I'm a Believer. I'm a believer, I can leave her.
Yeah.
He does it like a beautiful ballad. And so when you hear him sing it, then I saw her face.
Yeah.
Now I'm a believer. About this man, I realised that he didn't believe in love, and then he fell in love. And what else? He did Love on the Rocks. He did Solitary Man. There are so many songs now he put on, but I can't think of it. There's another song that I've fallen in love with called Blue Jeans. And I just love his music. I didn't know a huge amount about him coming into the show. But I've obviously had to learn all of the songs and this new material. And I was listening to it last year during a time when my father passed away, and it was sort of a very meaningful time in my life. And some of his songs became really important to me as well, right, because it was such a special time. And I just had him in my ears the whole time, and it was sort of he became the soundtrack to this incredible time in my life. So I'm excited to be able to perform them because they have an emotional connection to me as well.
What sort of impact did that experience have on you? Has it changed the way you see and hear someone so iconic like Neil Diamond?
Yeah, I think, I feel very lucky to be in a position where I can learn about this incredible artist and be paid to, and sort of, I think the more musicians that you look at, and I'd like to think that my category is very expansive anyway, because I love classic like Frank Sinatra sort of music. I love jazz. My dad got me into that. I also did ballet for years, so I got into classical music. I love pop music. I love David Bowie, but Neil I didn't know as much about. Right. And he was sort of that same. He crossed over a lot of different eras, and he's amazing. So yeah, it's definitely had an impact on me as an artist. I would think I have way more respect for him than I could have even imagined.
Hugh, you just seem born to perform. You sing, you dance, you act. You are just a true entertainer. And I'm just wondering, when you do a show like Solitary Man, do you come off the stage, that incredible high I imagine you'd experience? Do you get post-show blues though when you come off that kind of high?
Yeah, you can. There's been a few movies recently that I've seen, and I can't think of which And like, say for instance, I remember seeing that movie Judy with Renee Zellweger, and there's sort of she's out there on the stage, and she's just like, and it's this big theatre, which is similar to in fact, the concert hall's much bigger, and you're just up there alone with the orchestra, and you're just doing this whole thing, and then afterwards, often you're just alone again. But like you're alone, but by yourself. The audience is gone, and you're just sort of sitting there, and you're like, I should probably leave the theatre now. And then you go home, and you're alone, and you sort of. But often, you do feel a high afterwards. But I have definitely had moments, and I remember when I was performing at Sydney Opera House, doing in the same theatre, doing hair. Like there would be a lot of people would come into the dressing room afterwards, and there'd be like this big moment and everything, and then it was just suddenly very quiet, and you just sort of go, wow, what am I doing now? Like, I've got no one to see, and you just go back to your hotel room by yourself, and performing can be quite lonely. I think a lot of artists would relate to that, it's part of the joy as well as just being able to give to so many people at the same time, and I love making people happy, so I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
One of the things that frustrates me about Sydney audiences, and I'm only going to say Sydney because it's all the
Hugh might
place
be
I've
able
ever
to speak
lived.
to this a bit more.
Yeah, because you've performed all over, but we're awkward about the standing ovation. Like there's some people straight away up onto their feet cheering, and there are others that come in halfway through, and then there are just others who are just sitting and don't want to block others' view. What does it mean, like as a performer up there, when you finish and you get a standing ovation? I'm just trying to motivate anyone who gets along to see the show.
They've got to be 100% in.
What it means.
I think, there's a few tricks around it that I know to get a standing ovation.
Hey.
And I will definitely be doing it for Neil Diamond, which is to get everyone up dancing so that they're already up by the time the show finishes. And we finish on a bit of a high, so I'll definitely weave that in there to just make it work for myself. But I think Australia on the whole's become pretty bad with standing ovations. Like Americans just love it. Used to be Melbourne that was sort of worse years ago, but now I went and saw Mary Poppins last night, and I was just straight up and dancing and loving the whole thing and clapping, and other people sort of sit down and there is that moment where they're up and down, but I just stayed up, and then more people went, you just got to stand up and clap. And at the end of the day, you're doing it for the performers, and if you're seeing a great show and they've done a great job, stand up and clap, especially when people are up there for like 2 hours just pouring their guts out, and they do it day after day after day. I just couldn't care less, because I thought these people are brilliant. And if the worst thing is if someone says, can you just sit down, but it's just the bows, I'll just go, could you just stand up, please?
Yes.
Show some respect.
Yeah.
It is. It's respect, but it's also just, especially after the pandemic, post-pandemic, or maybe mid-pandemic, wherever we are in the pandemic, I've lost track.
Who knows? Yeah. Let's just say after.
Yeah. And the entertainment industry was one of the hardest hit industries. And so, like, my gratitude for those who stuck it out and are performing now and bringing us these brilliant shows. Like, I just want to encourage it as much as possible. So if you can get along to Solitary Man, tickets are on sale on Monday. And if you go, standing ovation, please.
It's a necessity.
Put Sweet Caroline at the very end so that they're
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what maybe we need to do with our radio show. Just finish
maybe.
every time. Sweet Carolina.
Might cause a few traffic jams, but that's okay.
A few car accidents. Hugh Sheridan.
Into the traffic.
Hugh Sheridan, thank you so much for joining us on Hope Breakfast.
Thank you so much for having me. See you guys.
See you.
Bye. Bye.